Hey guys, I'm Stalin02, and since I really got good at Armies of Gilnor, I thought I'd make a video explaining all the basic stuff that you need to know how to play and how to be good at it. So after you get into the multiplayer lobby, you'll want to create an unrated game. So now I'm going to invite my friend who's going to help me do this. What I do is just usually a basic 2-player game, which is 2 players, 240 time, map size small, and game length double. Okay, so the first thing you always want to do is move your chief on the portal. It takes 10 HP to capture a portal, and your chief is 10 HP, which means that you're going to capture it in 1 turn. Capturing a village also takes 10 HP, but it takes 15 HP to capture a tower like this. Now portals give you 50 mana per turn, villages give you 25 mana per turn, and towers give you 75. So if you capture a tower, you're going to be at a significant advantage, but you're most likely going to have to protect your barbarian very hard to capture it, unless you're fighting a noob, of course, who doesn't know what he's doing. Anyways, I'm going to end my turn now. Okay, so now that you captured your portal, you can make units out of it. I'm just going to move this barb in the village. Now if you click on it, you see the 4 circles, the Cerdaman God, Zamorak God, Guthix God, and Neutral. Like if you click on the Cerdaman God and mouse over a unit, you can see everything about it. You can see how much mana it costs. The 100 MP is how much of these stars, that's mana right here. That's how much a paladin costs 100 mana. The strength and HP are the same thing, and I just call it HP because it makes more sense. A unit's speed is how many squares it can move every turn. And a unit's range is how many squares away from where it is now it can attack. So like for example, paladin's range is 1, and it can only attack units 1 square away from it, like after it moves. Now if you look at Cerdaman Mage, for example, its range is 3 to 5 and its movement is 3, which means you can move it 3 squares and then still attack up to 5 squares away from it. Also each unit has a level assigned to it. Like the Cerdaman Owl, Paladin, and Monk are all level 1. Which you can make them right away, but you can't make this level 2. It says favor level is too low, because you need to make level 1 before you can make level 2, and then you need to make level 2 before you can make level 3, and so on. Now neutral is different because it's one level above the highest level you made with any of the 3 gods. So if you made like a Cerdaman Mage level 3, then your neutral would be level 4, and you'd be allowed to make like this Dagannoth or this Tsar Ket. Now I'm going to talk about the types. Many of you probably play RuneScape, and this game's triangle is just like in RuneScape, except it has a couple more types added into it. Mages are super effective against warriors, rangers are super effective against mages, and warriors are super effective against rangers, just like in RuneScape. There are also skirmish, flying, and helper types. Skirmish types are not super effective against anything, but they do have high movement range. Such as this terror bird, for example. See, its speed is 10. Well, speed and movement are the same thing. So it can move very far, and it's very useful for stopping barbarians from capturing. There's also flying, like this gnome copter, and it's like a luxury in this game. They can fly over mountains and they can't be attacked by warriors or skirmish. There are also helper types, and as their name suggests, obviously they help your other units. Druid, for example, from Guthix, like any units that are next to it will get a 5 HP boost, making them stronger. The Monk from Cerdaman will heal each of your units 3 HP per turn. And the Necromancer from Zamorak, it'll make skeletons from any bones that are next to it at the beginning of your next turn. I'm going to show you a chart of the effectiveness of all units against others so that you have it for easy reference. Now movement is pretty simple in this game if you just know the following. That now road speeds up your movement by 1.5, so a paladin moving 6 squares normally would move 9 on the road. See, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But like if at least one of the squares is not road, like this green open space, then it can only move 8. Now moving through these woods, that cuts your movement in half, or in other words, each square of these woods takes 2 away from your unit's movement. And there's also swamp, which isn't on this map, but it takes away 3 from your unit's movement. So paladin would only be able to walk 2 squares on the swamp. Finally, rivers, which also aren't on this map, they can only be crossed by skirmish and flying types. For flying types, the movement cost is 1 because, again, flying is a luxury in this game, and you can fly over anything. But for skirmish, each square of the river takes, just like swamp, takes away 3 from their movement. Now on to the damage, obviously the most important part of this game. There are 3 numbers that you'll need to remember to know how much damage the units do. If they're not very effective, they hit 25%. If they're normal, they hit 50%. And if they're super effective, they hit 90% of their total HP. Now if you're a pro at math, like me, this is going to be very easy for you because you can calculate all the damage pretty much in your head. It's very important to know exactly how much damage you're going to do if you want to become good at this game. Now keep in mind the chart I showed you earlier about the type effectiveness. Now I'm going to use my 15 HP Terrorbird to attack his paladin, which is a warrior. From the chart you'd know that skirmish are not very effective against warriors, so therefore they're only going to hit 25% of its HP. Now it has 15 HP and 25% of 15 is 3.75. But the thing is, you can only hit whole numbers. Jagex made it so that it always rounds down to the nearest whole number, so I'd only end up hitting 3. As you can see right here, if I attack, I'd hit 3. Now, after you attack him, he attacks back with whatever HP he has after you attacked him. So it'd be a bad idea to attack a warrior with a skirmish unless you can finish him off. Now there's something in this game that complicates this damage just a little bit, and that's defense. When your unit stands on the ground with defense like 20% for example, it'll receive 20% less damage than it normally would. Swamps and rivers give 10% defense. Villages and woods give 20% defense, towers give 30% defense, and mountains give 40% defense. But only flying could go on mountains. To give you an example of how defense can significantly change the game, if I attack his 25 HP White Knight with my 25 HP White Knight, I'd normally hit 12 and then he would hit 6 back on me. But since his knight is on the tower, giving it 30% defense, I'd only hit 8 and he would hit the same back to me. So I'd hit 8 and he would hit 8 back to me, as you see right here. 8, 8. Now it may not seem like a big difference to you, but trust me, when you're playing against pros, it does make a difference. Now another thing you should know is that mages and rangers can't shoot directly through woods. They can only shoot diagonally, so you should always check their range like this. The bright red shows their range. Now see, I can't attack that owl with the mage even though it's only like 3 squares away from it because these woods are blocking the way. So if you moved it in this square, your mage would be pretty much useless because it can't attack anything. Well, these squares show everything that it can attack, and as you see, it can't attack anything. Now there are 2 ways to win this game, either by killing all of your opponent's monsters and capturing all of his or her portals, or by victory points. You get victory points based on your mana per turn, so if you're getting like 100 mana per turn, you're getting 100 victory points per turn. You can see your progress right here in the top corner. I'm getting plus 75 mana per turn, and I got 975 out of 8,500 total. So when I'd get 8,500, if I got 8,500 before he does, then I'd win, but he's getting plus 225 because he captured that portal, the towers, and the 2 houses in his portal. Now I just gotta show you one more thing. If you make a druid, and then if you put your units next to it, any unit, doesn't matter, any units that are next to the druid will get boosted the next turn by 5 points, making them a lot stronger, which is very important to this game. See how this paladin became 15 out of 10, this chief became 15 out of 10, and this terrorbird became 20 out of 15. Well, that makes a big difference from them having their regular HP. Now I'd like to thank all of you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And by the way, you probably know more about armies of Gilnor now than about 70% of players on here. Good luck playing. See ya.